Okay, guys, so today we're talking about the planet Jupiter, which is a planet of luck, some would say, the planet of growth also. There's a lot of different determining names for Jupiter. Well, there's two. Okay, Jupiter represents growth and luck. I personally lean more towards the growth one because when you're doing stuff sequentially, it does sort of look like luck. Like, say, for example, if you say tell your brothers when you're a little kid, hey, I'm gonna have this car one day, and they're like, no, you'll never have that car, that's ridiculous. And then like 30 years down the line, you're like, hey, look at my car, and they're like, oh shit, you just got lucky. You feel that inclination? It's like an inclination, like, oh yeah, you'll never really do that, I don't believe in you. In my personal opinion, that's where I think the phrase luck comes from. It's like, I don't believe in you. That's never going to happen. And if it does, it's only luck. There's no way a person like you could deserve something like that. Unless you got lucky. That's it. I don't care how determined you are. That's how that person would be, okay? But then you tell them, dude, no, I just was really determined. My perspective was always set on that one goal. And they're like, Nah, you got lucky. Nah, that's fake, dude. You're lying. No, you're lying. You're a liar. So that's Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. And it's a gas planet, believe it or not. And if you were to say fall into Jupiter, you wouldn't hit the ground. You wouldn't hit ground until you hit the core. Until you get stuck into the gravitational pull of the core. Now that's pretty crazy, right? And Jupiter also, it moves a little bit slower than Saturn. Saturn takes 30 years. And Jupiter takes like 50 years or something like that. You could post in the comments below what it is. But yeah, Jupiter moves a lot slower. But it spins really fast. So the Jupiter spins, its spin is 9 hours. 9 hours on Jupiter is a whole day and on the planet. So 9 hours equals 24 hours on Earth. That's pretty crazy, right? So Jupiter is a really fast planet, but it's also expanding because it's air. It's all air, okay? So yeah, definitely do your research. Do some astronomy research on the planet. It's really cool. And I'm sure that there's a lot of significance for all of the planets associated with astronomy. So if you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm not into astrology, you could just be like, oh okay. For example, for me, I could be like, oh, my son's ruled by Pluto. And then people won't be like, oh, dude, you're into astrology? That's lame. No. You'll just say, my son's ruled by Pluto. That's a planet. That's astronomy, bro. Simple. Really? Really, yeah, that's how it is. Planets rule the signs. The signs aren't shit without the planets. I personally feel like a long time ago, way back in the day, that's how it became a thing. Because people got lazy. They're like, oh man, so Jupiter does all this and blah 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 does all this. But if you associate them with animals, then people get interested. Everyone loves a good story. That's where astrology comes in. It's like, okay, I get it. It's story time, right? You know, grandpa has their kids sit down before he dies and tells their kids a story. Dude, guys, check it out. So there was this lion, and he was the brightest lion ever. And he became king. And everybody worshiped him because he was so bright. That's your sun sign, right? That's a perfect story for an elder to tell their grandkids. And it's easy to catch, right? Versus saying, oh yeah, so imagine being at a campfire, chilling with your grandpa, and he's like, oh yeah, so the sun came out one day, and the sun shined on all of us, and it keeps us all warm. And don't you want to be warm? Do you want to die? If the sun wasn't here, you would die. You know, kids get bored with shit like that. Why would I care about dying? I'm a kid. I enjoy my life. I love jumping around. I love being in the spice of life, the excitement of life. I love being energetic. I want to be a lion. I don't want to be a damn sun. You know? So that's how I would see a child. reacting to that type of vibe, man. So that's why I feel like it grew. Astrology grew. Astronomy grew from astronomy was the beginning, was the seed. And then astrology, a branch from astronomy, grew from that, so that so the grandpa could share with his grandkids, you know, something that he wanted to share with them that was very important to him before he died. That's my vibe. And that's my perspective on astrology and existence. It's like lucky, but it's not really lucky. It's a real thing, and it's there for a reason. Damn it. It's there for a really... Astrology is here for a very beautiful reason, you know? But you don't necessarily have to consider the different animals. It is kind of silly, realistically. I would rather say my Saturn is in Jupiter, because it is. So it's just as simple, you know? And it's not astrology based. But I really love thinking about the expansion version. So a person, say the grandpa's son, who didn't want to teach the kids astrology or astronomy, was like, oh, you guys learned about a lion? They come to their dad. Oh, Dad, I learned about a lion. Grandpa taught me. Oh, Grandpa taught you? That's nice. You know, push them away kind of vibe. Because you know how kids are. When you get older, you don't really like your parents. Well, I mean, some do, but let's be realistic. Most people don't like their parents, okay? Because, you know, they hold the rules. They're the ruler. And everybody was a rebellious, in my opinion. I feel like everybody's rebellious. I'm rebellious, you know? I mean, I love my parents, but I would rather be me than what they want me to be, if you guys understand that. Okay, so, yeah. So grandpa's not going to be able to teach son anything. Son's too old. Son is already, Dad, I'm trying to focus on feeding our household. Or can you do that? No, you're too lazy because you're old and you can't move that well anymore, you know? So grandpa's got to come up with ideas to inspire, because still he's got that passion, you know? I could see myself doing that with my grandkids, telling them really cool stories. I'll definitely come up with some really cool stories. Next time I do a video, I'm going to come up with some really cool stories on each planet, because I want every child to understand how beautiful astrology is. And I want to create stories for it. That sounds amazing. You know? The lion's the easiest one because there's a big old poster in my house. You know, but I mean, it's I'm sure it's really easy to come up with stories. You know? And it's an expansion thing, you know? It's a luck thing, you know, if you really think about it, but it's not really luck. Realistically, it's not luck. So Dad neglects grandpa, kids pay attention to grandpa, kids learn from grandpa, kids grow older, they express what grandpa taught them, and they bring it into the present. But there's no more planets. But it's okay. Because the meanings are still there. Because the love that was input into the children is still there. So that love is expressed. Maybe everybody doesn't know about astronomy, but everybody knows about astrology, whether they want to or not. And I believe it was because of a really passionate grandpa that just really wanted their kids to know stuff that most people didn't. And that's it. I don't think I can say anything to top that, to be completely honest. I hope all you guys have a blessed weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. And thank you. Please enjoy your now, and blessings.